Hi, Gary. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Have you walked around for the first day? How did you like it?
It is wonderful. It's exciting. It's crowded. There's great innovation all around the show floor. It is larger than last year, and it gives me great optimism for the future given the technologies which are being shown here.
Have you found something new?
Many different things are new. I saw a camera that follows you underwater, which I had never seen before, to introductions of new concept cars, to Huawei's introduction of a whole product line. I'm so honored they chose CES Asia to introduce their products.
Actually, I went to the CES Las Vegas at the beginning of this year. I found that the artificial intelligence enabled devices is a big topic, either in Las Vegas or now in Shanghai. What do you think about it?
Well, artificial intelligence is starting to be part of almost every device out there. It's the next step, if you will, in the Internet of Things. You have products which are starting to learn. They're starting to react. And we're still at the very baby crawling stages of the development of this great new technology, but soon it will be embedded in everything. And that will allow devices to respond to us, to respond based on who we are, what we normally do, and also they will also know if things are not normal. For example, if you go in your home every day, that's normal. If someone else comes in your home that's not you, through a combination of facial recognition or biometrics of another type, then artificial intelligence will say there's a problem and alert somebody.
Actually, artificial intelligence, for the past few years, people are talking a lot about it, but it's hard to find any killer application. But this year we found like the Echo, and several days ago the Apple announces it's going to have the HomePod, right? And also in China you can find a lot of the startups are trying to do the artificial intelligence enabled new devices. For example, home appliance, smart TVs, and also the natural language processing the devices, and also even the automatic driving the cars. So how do you compare the trend in China with the America?
Well, you're definitely correct about artificial intelligence pervading more devices which will save lives and for example, self-driving cars, but also because of the voice recognition capabilities have improved from 100% failure 20 years ago to now it's down to the 2 to 5% failure. So that one change in voice recognition has made a difference. In terms of the difference between the United States and China, I don't know. I mean, many of these companies have facilities in China and the United States. There's research going on around the world. Scientists and researchers are sharing their research. So there's many advances. It's a question more of execution, creativity, branding. Great companies like Huawei and Apple have the worldwide marketing and distribution and capabilities. And there's also still a place in some of this for the youngest startup and innovators, because they could tap the intelligence and the chipsets that others have and create new products which may be very similar to existing products to do something different or better. I don't think of the world as China does it here or the U.S. does it here. The fact is that Chinese, American companies, Korean companies, and Japanese companies do things in many different places.
Our reporters in San Jose just reported the World WWDC of the Apple. We find the tech giants, they are not part of the CES. They have their own shows. They have their own developers, global developers conferences. So what kind of the CES unique role compared of those the 4 or 5 the tech giants in the Silicon Valley? They have their own shows. So who will be the representing the trends of the future technology?
Well, the fact is that as an association, all those companies are major members of ours. They serve in leadership positions, and they are very active in CES. They speak on our panels. We have a whole section of the show devoted to the platforms and marketing and technology. It's 3 hotels now, and it's doubled in size every year. And we see all these companies there in a very visible ways, and also with hundreds of people attending different things. So to participate in a trade show does not necessarily just mean you have an exhibit. That works for some people, it doesn't work for others. But if you participate with people, if you're part of the conferences, if you're part of the discussion, not only with the show but year round, you're an important part of the industry. And we feel very comfortable that there is not a company that's part of the industry that is not engaged with us at many different levels.
Every time I go to the CES, I found some unexpected companies coming to the show. For example, we find that the auto companies coming here, and also we find in China a lot of the e-commerce companies coming here. So why do you think the e-commerce companies are interested in the CES, either in Asia or in America?
Well, for example, in the American show CES, we have Amazon and Best Buy and others are there with very big presence. Part of it is because they have a specific mission that they want to accomplish with a physical footprint of presence, or they want meetings or whatever. It's just they're part of the ecosystem. They're there at our shows and they're there at other shows as well, frankly, because they have to be. Because every top executive like yourself who wants to know where the trends are, there's no more efficient place than to go to a trade show where you have the different components there. Now, what we try to do uniquely with CES is many things. First, we try to get everyone in the ecosystem there. So we get the platforms, we get the buyers, we get the investors, we get the press, and we do it at a CXO level. Because the advantage of being a CEO is where you could see everything efficiently and you could be innovative. And innovation is the ability to take totally disparate ideas and put them together and create something new, which is marketable. And that's the job of the CXO. And they have a very inspired time always at CES events. That's how we design them. We also produce the events in a way which are very transparent. They're independently audited. They provide a great experience. CES Asia, for example, is a curated event. We only allow companies to exhibit if they are a major brand or they have unique innovation. And that's why we do not allow hundreds of companies that apply to exhibit at CES Asia, which is very different. In CES in Las Vegas, we're more space contained. And if you are one of 85 makers of a case for a smartphone, we still let you exhibit just because that's the global marketplace. But we are space constrained, so we have to be careful in more other areas. But generally, the CES shows are designed to inspire, to allow a very efficient way for people to come together, and for innovation to occur in a very visible way to keep the world and the industry moving forward in a very positive direction.
It is very interesting for the e-commerce companies. They come in here naturally because they want to find the new things, the trend of technologies, the potential devices and the products and services they can provide it to the consumers. But I find it's very interesting that e-commerce is increasingly becoming part of the innovation. They are not only sell this product and services, they are innovate, build, R&D their own, for example, echo of the Amazon, right? And also I find the next door, the Suning is the e-commerce giant. It's had the largest the show places inside here. Is it the trends that the innovation, the CES is building an innovation ecosystem here, so attracting the e-commerce company also coming here to not only to find the new things to put in their marketplace, also they are becoming the innovators themselves.
Absolutely. A trade show like CES is an organism that grows and changes rapidly depending on the current environment of the moment. The environment of the moment is in China is there's intense competition among the top platform providers. In the United States, Amazon is very dominant in one area, Facebook in another, Google in another as a search platform. China has a very different environment. It's an environment where competition is still very, very vibrant. And that's something which part of that is played out in a very visible way in the trade show.
How do you expect the future of the CES in China? Because China is the high tech is growing very, very fast, and it has the biggest, largest market in the world, probably parallel with America. And also we find the increasing number of the Chinese companies every January, they go to the Las Vegas. So the future of the CES Asia in Shanghai will someday will be the leading the trends of the technology innovation?
Well, the honest answer is we really don't know, but CES in Las Vegas has been around for 50 years, and it is a global marketplace. We get 60,000 people from outside the United States. CES Asia is a very new event, but one of the fastest growing events in the world. It's only 3 years old, but China has over 3 times the population of the United States. It has probably more wealthy people than there are in the United States, and it's a very different, fast-growing environment. Well, the United States is definitely more mature in terms of its economy, and the Chinese economy is obviously on a path which will be the largest in the world. So there's tremendous growth here very quickly. There's a large number of companies. Our vision for CES Asia is to make Shanghai and China the center of all Asia for the launch of and business of technology products. And that's where we are heading. And someday it's possible CES Asia will be larger than Las Vegas, but it did take 50 years to get Las Vegas where it is. So we're on a very good growth path, and we'd like to keep that.
Okay. So this morning I talked with the CEO of the NBA in China. We talked about the media technology innovation and its impact on the experience of the viewers, on the audience, to the entertaining the games. And also CES has the tradition of innovating the media technology. So what's your view on the future, like VR, AR, so will the interaction between the media and the technology?
Well, certainly a category we did not have 2 years ago is sports technology, and technology is changing not only the viewing experience for the fan, but the experience for the athletes themselves in terms of how they can measure themselves. Not only professional athletes, but also amateur as well, and also those people like me which just want to measure our own exercise and health. So in terms of the media landscape is changing. It's obviously we've gone from a world where people sat at computers to the greater reliance on mobile products like smartphones and tablets. And then now we're going into a 5G world. So the media environment's changed from print to digital. It's changing so much how people get and consume media. It's no longer linear. It's immediate. Some of it is shorter and quicker. Some of it is a situation where you watch a lot of one program. There are many things happening to the media world at the same time, and there's questions about what kind of advertising model, whether it be a subscription model, the streaming models, and it's a big area where there's a lot of questions and rapid change. And when there's rapid change, it's very important that people get together in an environment like this one and try to figure it out through conferences, through talking to people, through exhibits.
CES is about the consumer electronic goods, right? But you mentioned it's about IoT in the future. IoT, from our understanding, is even larger scenario, even larger context of applying a lot of the new technologies like artificial intelligence, like big data, cloud computing, and but IoT sounds like it's everything, right? Can you give me some very specific the applications or services or the products or the goods you think will be most relevant to the consumers in the near future? Yeah.
Well, some of them we could talk about because we know there's needs, and some of them may be regional or cultural or national. For example, safety and security is a need that all humans feel, and to the extent they might live in an area where they feel unsafe, that's important. Privacy is also important to many people, so IoT can help with privacy. Health is important for everyone, and IoT is, for the first time in human history, allows collection of data in such a way where medicine can figure out what works and what doesn't work, could be predictive with artificial intelligence. You can sit in your car and it can tell you that you're likely to get sick unless you take these actions or this medicine. So there's, and then there's the whole area of transportation, where obviously there's many different forms of transportation, whether it be drones, or soon we'll see human flying machines and cars that maybe fly in the next few years and other things, and obviously self-driving cars. And then of course there's food production and agriculture, where we have needs as humans. We're getting more and more efficient. And of course there's education, where we can go to a more customized education. We can figure out what works. So there's so many use cases And many smart entrepreneurs will come up with solutions. Many of them will not work. The marketplace will not accept. But others will work grandly and change the human condition in a positive way.
Even I found a lot of genetic engineering companies, they are doing genetic sequencing, new application, want to apply this technology not only to the hospitals, to the healthcare institutions, but also want to apply it to the consumers. It is very interesting.
Well, yes, and that's another great example of what will be a merging, the melding and convergence of the technology world and the biological genetic world. So right now in the United States, it's very common for people to do their genetic sequencing, and based on that, they'll know that certain drugs will work with certain diseases and other drugs won't. We're starting to go away from the concept that one drug will always work with one disease. One drug will work if you have a certain genetic sequence, and some of this is very important especially for some of the diseases like cancer, where there's more and more we're getting the specific treatments are being based on genetic makeup, as well as the genetics of the cancer. So we're getting into a better world every day.
It seems the CES is attracting everything, which is the fintech, high-tech, health tech, agri-tech, everything tech. So where's the boundary of the CES?
Well, I used to say the boundary was biologics. We don't go there. But there are boundaries. I mean, we are a business-focused show. We allow a few consumers in. So it is based on where there's a business element involved. You have to be a business person to qualify to come to CES here as well as Las Vegas, except for the very last day here we let a few consumers in. In terms of the categories of products, the question is, are they improving the human condition? Are they innovative? Is there a great brand associated with them? And ultimately, the marketplace determines it. If you can afford to have an exhibit here and show something that makes a difference, that is self-selecting in many ways.
Gary, how do you like the stage?
I love it. I am very impressed with your presence here. I feel very honored to be here, honored to have you, and honored to be interviewed here. CES.
Actually, every year we have half a dozen reporters to the Las Vegas to report the CES. So we hopefully we expect we have a stage like this in the CES in Las Vegas. Do you think it's a good idea?
I think it's a great idea. Everything is in Las Vegas is a question of space. So.
Okay. Yeah, we can do it. Okay.
We'll talk to you.
Okay, let's talk. Okay, keep in touch. Okay, Gary, thank you very much. Thank you.